So how did you feel like just setting the table? Like you kind of was like the precursor for Iverson, 5'11". You had the jumper. You was the man in Philadelphia. So can you just speak a little bit on that?
It was crazy. I was in Philly, and they didn't really offer me a long term deal. I was about to sign with Washington, so I really knew that I was leaving Philly, but I really loved it. I got the opportunity, man. John Lucas gave me the rock. He was just like, "Do you think it's your rock?" And that was the first time somebody had done that for me, and in the pros, not just in college. So when I got the rock, I've been waiting. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Man, okay, that was awesome, man. I read a little bit up too. Uh, you thought you were going to the Bulls, and you end up getting the Sonics stole you.
Yeah, man.
So,
I didn't even talk to Seattle before the draft. I didn't even holler at like the GM. He never called me, called my agent or nothing. So when they were picking, I wasn't even paying attention to the draft. And when they said, Danna Barros or whatever David Stern said, I was bugging. I was like, no, it is. Why he do that? Like he just did that, So yeah, it kind of messed with me a little bit. But it was all. I obviously ended up all good. But then that would have been the icing on the cake right there.
Right. Now, I looked up some of your stats, and I noticed that you are one of three players with Michael Jordan, and the other player goes by me to have 50 points with over 80% from the field. Am I correct?
Yeah.
What's the second player?
Um, Somebody who just did it recently. That's why they put it up there.
Yeah.
Somebody sent it to me on the gram, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw it on. I saw it. That's where I saw it from. I gotta look it up because I had it too. that was one of my first questions. When you saw that, was it something that you knew when you did it, or did it just bring back the memory of actually doing it and thinking, "Wow, I didn't know I actually achieved that."
Every time I like Kenny Smith will bring my name up. Every time those people bring my name up, it kind of brings back memories. But honestly, man, the whole career is such a blur. I need something to happen for it to kind of come back to me. You know what I mean? It's just basketball to me. It was what I always wanted to do. And when I was in it, I was in it. I wasn't thinking about nothing else other than that. And man, just even like bringing up stories and being on a lot of podcasts lately, man, it does bring back a lot of those memories, man. And it comes kind of full circle fresh in my mind again, which, I have forgotten a lot of this stuff. So when I go on these shows, it's great. And also YouTube saves everybody, man, with the history they keep on there. So any little kid I go speak at a camp, he doesn't know me, and as soon as they go grab their phone, that 50-point game comes up. So that's kind of a staple for me going forward in the future.
Right.
I wanted to piggyback on the 50 ball on Houston and how you basically shot like you was one of the first shooters. Like, how do you get a little jealous you aren't in this era where they can't the hand checking and they shooting like 8 threes a game?
Absolutely, man. Like when I would come in and pull it from like 3 feet behind the line, the coach would look at me and say, "You better make it." You know what I mean? Because I was coming out. If I didn't, people would look at me crazy. So, but those are my shots back then. But it wasn't. It was looked at. Even the announcers would be looking at me crazy if I missed it. Like, what the hell is wrong with him shooting like from there? But that was my range, and it was crazy. So now I see, 30% of the league shooting 3-4 feet behind the line. It's just like, damn. Like my max deal, like I got a nice little deal back there, man. My max deal would have been like $150, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm jealous.
Right.
Definitely jealous. Definitely.
And you also were in the 1995 All-Star game too.
Yeah.
Definitely probably a highlight in your career. What memories do you have about that the whole weekend?
Man, I mean, just everything. It just I was in the 3-point contest as well, but to be able to walk in that locker room, put that uniform on with all those all-stars around me, man, like Penny Hardaway, Shaq, all those great players, man. It was just amazing. Scottie Pippen, everyone. So once I walked in that locker room, it was kind of like that wow effect hit me. I kind of was the first time I wasn't looking at myself as an NBA player. I was more like a fan walking in that locker room. That was an amazing moment, and that's one of the moments that I always remember vividly. That wasn't a blur to me. That was like something that was vivid to me. The warm up line, I was crazy bouncy in the warm up line. I was high, So, and then the game, I got to play in the game, hit like I think 5-7 points. So, and that's one of those moments you never forget,
So that was definitely a classic moment. Who was one of your favorite teammates?
Man, I had a couple, but I definitely Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was my favorite. It was my next door neighbor. We came in as rookies together. We rode everywhere together, to the airport, to practice. And that was my man, and people just don't have no idea how good he was, man. He's Zion on steroids, plus 5 inches taller. Get coast to coast, behind his back, between his leg, cuff dunk on you. It was just a different game back then too. So it was definitely the most fun teammate to play because you could just throw it up to the top of the board and he was getting it. And I also played with Paul Pierce, who was amazing, man. Like we used to call him Bad Body because he looked like he couldn't play. Like he didn't look like he was athletic and he was herky jerky with his game, and then he just take off on you. To watch him mature for those 3 years from his rookie year to then was also that was a great time in my career as well.
Yeah, we just mentioned Paul Pierce high school slam dunk attempt from the slam dunk contest.
Oh, okay.
He was going against Vince Carter. He looked so awkward when he was in high school.
Yeah, man, Bad Body P. We call it Bad Body P.
I had a chance to speak with Cornbread Cedric Maxwell, Celtic legend. He got the Finals MVP.
My God.
I seen you grew up in the area of Boston, Massachusetts, got to play for Boston. How are you? Just tell us about that. That's awesome. Kind of going to your city, your state, and then some of the legends you got to meet, and then a little bit how you feel about what the Celtics doing now. They killed the Sixers yesterday.
Yeah, they're back in the prime mode right now. So I still do consulting for them. So I've been doing that for about 15 years. Danny Ainge used to come over to BC and play with me and the rest of the squad all the time in '85. So I've known him since '85. And when I retired, he just was like, I'm hanging around. So I've been doing a lot of consulting for them. So I'm always at the game. So right now it's a different time for me. I'm used to being at the game in the playoff atmosphere. And to watch those games on TV is kind of low energy. It must be difficult for those players to really get it. You have to really dig deep to get the energy. But I grew up, man, watching Larry Bird, and I got to play in Seattle against Larry Bird and Magic Johnson for 4 years. And then when I came back to play for the Celtics, Larry Bird was actually the GM. He's the one who brought me here, signed me with ML Carr. So, Red Auerbach was still here. I got to be in the room with those guys, sign a contract, and that was amazing, man, to watch them growing up and now to be a part of that history, to be a Celtics captain, which my name will always be, in the history of that organization. And it's just an honor now to still be involved. And I got a ring from '08. I was on the staff '08, and I need one more. I got 2 sons, so I need one more of them big carrot rings, man.
Man, that's awesome. I bet that's your prized possession. You deserve it, though. You definitely deserved it. Yeah,
Appreciate
that's awesome.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Got some Salo? Think you frozen.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Danna, my bad, man. Just getting back in here.
No doubt. It's all love, man.
Yes, sir. Being that you came up, you know what I'm saying, as an underdog, being that you was 5'11", you know what I'm saying, back then in NBA, that kind of, playing basketball, period, that kind of seemed unbelievable. But you obviously made a career for yourself. But what do you got to say to those underdogs who's just ready to quit?
It's just, man, you got to be different, man. Like, you got to be almost a weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be so zoned in that people looking at you like, what's wrong with him? Like, you know what I mean? And that's the mentality I had growing up. Where I grew up, it's crack era, you know what I mean? Like, going through all that, couldn't even leave in front of the house. because of the issues around the area. I always had the basketball with me, you know what I mean? And we didn't have cell phones, no computers, no internet. We didn't have cable, you know what I mean? So it was me and the Rock, and that's really how you got to live. And people don't understand what it takes to get to that level. They see ESPN and they see the final product, but they don't understand the 6 in the morning going to the track, running the stairs, coming back, lifting for an hour and a half, sleeping, going back, shooting at the gym, then playing at night. They don't understand them 6-8 hour days. If you ain't doing that, you ain't really, want it for real. You just pretending. You just want to get that bag, and you just pretending it from where I'm saying it, because you're not understanding it from that standpoint. I'm not even going to tell you, because you're not going to believe me anyway. So what's the point of going there?
Yes, sir. I was able to witness it a little bit. I tried to walk on for University of Cincinnati. No one made the team, but it was this older cat took me under his wing. He ended up making it the next year, and he was a walk-on, never really got in. But man, that boy was having me put in work, like you were saying. I had never seen nothing like that before, and he did that just to become a walk-on.
Right.
It's like, so I can't even imagine the type of work. Especially you being undersized, it was like, man, especially back then. Now you could get that off. It's like it ain't no problem really being 5'11", 6'2". Like that's where I weigh in at. So
yeah,
it is like,
because a lot of times back then, like everyone, it was Gary Payton, Jason Kidd. You had these big 6'4", 6'5" guys, and what happened was they tried to post up. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, guys weren't used to posting up. Then they try to post a little guy up. But what I realized was they couldn't guard me. It was harder for them to guard me than it was for me to guard them. So over the course of the years, me watching Michael Adams, Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, and then now all the other teams started wanting a little dude. You know what I mean? I got to get me one of them little dudes, man. They hard to guard, like especially if they can shoot, score. So and then you had the AIs and the Marburys, and you had that next generation of those 6-foot guards, who just really have taken over the game. And now, I mean, you 6'8", you a guard. You know what I mean?
Right.
6'9", you a guard. So it's a different game, different game.
Ant mentioned, go ahead, Ant.
Okay, I was gonna say, you mentioned another legend you played against, and I seen you dropped the 5 threes against Mike Wizard. So, could you name like the top 5 legends you played?
Man, I played like at the end of the Bird era. So I played with Moses Malone, and I played against Larry Bird and Matt. So I would say Magic and Bird, obviously the first two I had to put in there. Then I went from MJ, obviously number 3, but in no order of who's the greatest. I'm just putting in the 3.
Right.
And then you have to pick between Akeem and Shaq. You know what I mean? That's a toss-up to me. One was finesse personified. The other one was just a man shot like from another planet. You know what I mean? So I would take one of those guys, and then, man, I'm gonna take Kobe. Man, Kobe was such a beast, man. Like in top 5 defensive every year and offense every year, just like Mike, man. So. And his mental, like he was just a relentless. Like if you want to breed the mind and the body of a basketball player, that's who you want. You want that weirdo, crazy ass mentality. You know what I'm saying? That dude like that, and that's what he was. So I 5, man. I got Kobe over LeBron. A lot of people might not feel that way, but man, I think Kobe is a killer, and I love what LeBron does. Like he's such an unselfish player, right?
Right.
But my era, where I'm from, I don't want LeBron making the right pass, because the right pass might be throwing it to Bill Cartwright for a 15-footer. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? That's the right pass. Yeah. That's the right pass, B. But who the hell wants them shooting that? So, I just need a killer, man. I need a killer. I need someone going to shoot it with the double team and give the double team a facial. That's what I need.
That's the biggest difference between them. It's the mentality.
Yeah, man. Like it's the mentality. It's 82 games. It's the mentality. And LeBron may be one of the most talented at his size.
Yeah, that's
pass, posted. Like he may be the most talented, but it's just that doesn't mean you're the best. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you're the best. But he's still, to me, top 5 and will be maybe top 3 when it's all said and done. You know, he's still amazing, great player ever, one of the greatest ever.
Yes, sir.
We already brought up the comparison with you and Iverson. What a lot of people don't really remember is Check It, your rap record.
Right.
I see.
Yeah, man. I DJ'd all through college, man, and high school to make money. You know, I used to throw parties in my room and DJ. You know, and then I got to Philly, and what was crazy was DJ Jazzy Jeff he was like courtside with Will Smith all the time. So, man, this is amazing, man. Like I need to put this in a book. I got to go to Jazzy Jeff's house like 3 nights a week that year, and he was teaching me all this stuff. I was so nice on the tables, bro, because he would teach me. I couldn't get to spinning and all that, but he would take hours, man, and just teach me all the intricacies of just mixing with the boards, and it was just amazing. So after that, I really got into the rapping part of it as well. So that the NBA was doing an album with rappers, so they just came to me. They was like, "Yo, we want you to do a record." So I did it. And then they was like, "Oh, that's amazing!" Though I did the second album and I did the single, which was on BET and MTV and all that raps back in the day. So, yeah, my son does music now, and he got a single on Spotify, iTunes, and I'm on the single with him. You know, we doing like another 2 singles now. So we still, I'm still in the music through him, man. It's in the blood.
So
I can kind of hear it in your voice. I'm from Ohio, Beats from Detroit, Silo from Florida, but I bet we probably get it twisted about Massachusetts or Boston, and I can hear it. Like, can you let them know that it's really real down there? I bet you kind of mentioned it, like, y'all, it's just like any other city, huh?
Man, listen, man, like it's like baby New York, you know. That's all I say. It's like a quarter the size of New York. It's baby New York. And back growing up, it was really segregated back then. But like to try to explain like what the crack era was like, it was like you can't explain that to someone. You know, like you have to watch like The Wire. You gotta watch something real. But it's a scary place, man. Like at certain times, man, and but at the same time, it made me who I am. I love that city. I'm still in this. I live like 10 minutes from the city now. I have camps, so we bus kids out from the city. Still involved through the mayors of the city. So that's my heart and soul. And they never let nothing happen to me. No matter where I went, somebody was always protecting me. Never let none of those knuckleheads like really get at me the way they wanted to. And that's a blessing for me because there was a lot of times just because I'm 15 playing 19 and under, getting at all these dudes, it could have been a lot of times it got real ugly. And a lot of people put a stop to that for me. And I'll never, leave the city. This is always going to be home for me.
That's salute. Much respect.
Yeah, looking back on your NBA career, which moment you precious most, as far as your last year in Philly, when you started with 82 games, or when you got signed to Boston?
Man, I'd probably say just the draft, man, just being drafted. Like, just you all know, man, like to just lay in the bed at night to think, oh man, I just want to go to the league. I'm gonna play against MJ, and have your MJ basketball and type shit. You know what I mean? Like, and to actually get up and go play, man, and the first game I ever played was against the Bulls, So, man, I was just to tell somebody that's like a kid in high school right now walking on the court tomorrow to play against LeBron. You know what I mean? And to play KD and all that. That's literally to put yourself in that position. If you love whatever sport you love, if you music, that's like you walking in, Jay-Z hitting you like, come to the studio tomorrow. That's what it is. That's literally what it is,
So I wanted to go back to
before that's a great match, especially
Oh, you got. Go ahead, Salah.
Oh, go ahead. I'll just finish at his point. I said that got to be a dream, man. Especially you coming up as underdog, then you finally making NBA, then you going against MJ 101.
Yeah, definitely. And then also too, like, always wanting, telling people, man, I want a chance. I want a chance. And playing behind Gary Payton for 4 years, who's a Hall of Famer, knowing that I wasn't going to play, and to get that opportunity and to handle your business is gratifying. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when them 6-hour days, you know, everybody ain't going to do that. You know, when you get it, when you finally get it, it's nothing as gratifying as that. So that's, you know, it's like the culmination of it all coming together. So absolutely, man.
What's your favorite number? You have 4 different numbers throughout your career. Which one is the one you would remember most?
I always wanted 3, man. 3 was my number. You know, I made my living on the 3s, and but when I got to Seattle, Dale Ellis had 3 the first 2 years, I think. So I couldn't wear it until my 2nd or 3rd year. So I had 3 there. Then I went to Philly, and damn, somebody was wearing 3 in Philly. I was wearing 3 in Philly, right? So I'm wearing 3 in Philly for 2 years. Then I go to Boston, but Dennis Johnson's number was tied in Boston, so I couldn't wear it there. Wait for 2 years.